Okay. This is the entry into the sales process. And I'm now going to talk about sales as a science, I guess is the best way to put it. The thing called a sales cycle. The sales cycle, the idea of the sales cycle is that you want to bring people into this cycle and you want them to never leave. You want them to go around and around and around. The reason for that is if you can keep a customer, it's much easier than generating a new customer. So the process starts with an entry point. And I typically call that the elevator pitch. So we enter at this point with an elevator pitch, and either they enter on the elevator pitch or they don't. But if they do, then we need to make sure that they are our customer. The very first step after they enter is a discovery process. This is the biggest mistake most businesses make, is that this is not the first thing they do. When you begin the sales conversation, and this is a way to build a relationship with your potential customer, when you begin that process, you want to know what they want. You do not want to tell them what you do. So you give them the elevator pitch, they come back and they say, "That's interesting, tell me more." And you have to bite your tongue at that point and change the discussion. Well, what do you do? Tell me about what you do. Tell me about your auditorium. Tell me how often you have my kind of music there. Tell me what the demographics of your typical customer are. Tell me where you make your money. Are you making your money on ticket sales at the door? Are you making money on drinks inside? Tell me, tell me, tell me. You are discovering their needs, and in this process, you need to make a decision. Are they your customer or are they not? And if they're not your customer, say, "I know somebody that you ought to talk to because they do this other thing. Yeah, I don't do top 40. Here's a really good top 40 band, and top 40 is going to be the kind of band you want in your auditorium." Okay? So discover their needs is the first thing you do. After that, you present your solution for their need. Again, there are potential mistakes that are made at this point. And the mistake is, I start telling people about all the things that I do. I'm not telling them about what they want to hear. So you're looking for those pieces that are going to say, "This is what I want," and you're going to say, "Okay, I have it, and here's why I have it, and here's why I have it better than anybody else." The next step in the circle is to ask for the order. Many people will draw this circle with a different pattern to it. They will put cover objections before ask for the order. Most of your customers won't say why they don't want to buy from you until you've said it's time to pay. So I want you to do this process. I want you to ask for the order, and then they're going to say, oh, yeah, but John Smith will sing for half the price you sing for. Biggest objection people have is typically price. And this is not the place to cave on price. Small businesses are not price-based in most circumstances. They are unique-based. And that's why this piece and this piece have to work, because then when you get to here, they're either going to say yes or they're going to give an objection. And there are two kinds of objections in my mind. One is a valid objection, the other is an invalid objection. A valid objection is that you didn't ask enough questions to figure out what they really wanted, and therefore it's valid. An invalid objection is an objection like your price is too high. You should know who your competition is. You should know what they can do and what you can do. You should know what the cost is to produce your product. And you can, at this point, say, oh, the price is too high. Didn't you say you wanted somebody that could really sing? Or are you talking about somebody just out of high school that, you know, they got a pretty good voice, but they can't perform? What are you looking for? What are you really trying to get? Or are you talking about somebody that understands Spanish? Or are you looking for people that understand culture? There's a difference. And if you just need somebody that speaks Spanish, I know lots of people that speak Spanish and they could write anything you want. But do you want to connect with your customer, or do you want them to hear what you think they want to hear in a different language? Okay? If that happens, the objection brings you back to discover again. This is where the process goes. We're going in a circle like this, and if you have an objection, then you have to come back to the discovery process and say, where are we? You know, did we talk about this already? And we do make mistakes as salespeople. We forget to ask all of the right questions, and when we forget to ask those questions, we have to go through this process and come back. Realize that at every step in this process, you have the ability to fire your potential customer. And my recommendation is you fire early, because the biggest constraint you have on your business is your time. And the more time you spend down here where it doesn't end up with an order, the biggest loss you will have in that. Does this make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The last piece of this circle is follow-up. This is the piece that allows your customer to continue to be your customer. There's lots and lots of different ways to do this follow-up. And it's absolutely personality driven. It's got to be true to who you are. It's got to be true to what your business does. In the business that I was talking about before, I make graphic file converters for legacy peripherals. I was techie. I knew lots and lots about little nitty-gritty stuff, and that's who I was. And so my way to follow up with my customers was to keep a list of what they did and what was important to them. And as I came across interesting information that I thought was important to them, I would make sure to connect with them and say, have you heard the following? Does this make sense? Is this something that could be valuable to you? That begins the conversation again, and it makes them understand that, number one, I've listened to them. Number two, I remember them. And number three, I care that they're successful. And any customer where you're competitive and they believe that, they will be a repeat customer. Absolutely will be.